Published, 1:43 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 2nd of April 2018. Updated, 1:43 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 2nd of April 2018. John Legend rocked out on Easter Sunday as he played Jesus in NBC's live staging of Jesus Christ Superstar. The Oscar-winning R&B singer headlined an all-star cast that included Sarah Bareilles and rocker Alice Cooper for a live version of Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber and Sir Tim Rice's hit musical. It was the latest production of a live TV musical and followed the likes of Hairspray, The Wiz, Grease, Peter Pan and The Sound of Music. Live musical. John Legend played the title role on Sunday during Jesus Christ Superstar live on NBC Easter program. The 39-year-old singer starred in the over 2-hour production that aired on Easter Sunday, and this 2-hour 20-minute version of the 47-year-old rock opera. Legend, 39, starred as Jesus Christ, Bareilles as Mary Magdalene, Akupo as King Herod, Brandon Victor Dixon as Judas Iscariot and Jason Tam as Peter. The show was held inside the Marcy Avenue Armory in Brooklyn, New York, and was performed by a cast of 44 and a 32-piece band in front of a 1,500-person audience. The show kicked off with an all-female string quartet performing as they marched around the stage intensely, before a rock guitarist jammed a long solo surrounded by dozens of dancers while the name Jesus was written in red graffiti onto a wall. Legend, wearing white denim and a long grey necktop, then appeared for the first time from behind a wall as it separated and he marched through the graffiti. Rocking out. The live production from New York City rocked out from the start. Live audience. The cast of 44 and a 32-piece band performed in front of a live audience of 1,500 at the Marcy Avenue Armory in Brooklyn as the first number was performed by Brandon Victor Dixon as Judas Iscariot. Legend blew kisses to the audience and shook hands. Then 9 minutes into the show, Legend got his first real taste of the action as he was joined on stage by Bareilles, in a brightly colored orange dress, for their first duet of the night. In one spectacular scene, Legend was seen confronting the disciples who had turned a temple into a house of sin, as they showered themselves in glitter on top of an enormous wooden cross. Popular figure, Jesus was warmly received by fans at the start of the show. The betrayer, Brandon Victor Dixon, played Judas Iscariot in the production. Legend was then confronted by beggars, lepers and cripples, all demanding to be healed. Despite healing some, there were too many and he became overwhelmed, and in the end he told them to heal themselves. Mary Magdalene was soon by his side, and when he left she sung about her love of Jesus and her fear of it in I Don't Know How to Love Him. Healing power. Jesus healed the sick, but was overwhelmed by them. Love song. Sarah Bareilles as Mary Magdalene sang a love song to Jesus' amazing voice. The California native unleashed her amazing voice. Judas then sought out the priests and told them he would help them arrest Jesus before his popularity led to the death of Jesus and his followers. Jesus attended the Last Supper and poured them wine and gave them bread before predicting Peter would deny him 3 times in just a few hours and one of them would betray him. Judas then told him he knew very well who would do it, and after he accused Jesus of acting recklessly, he left to bring the Roman soldiers to arrest him. Plotting away. Jinhara's Annas watched as Judas conspired against Jesus' Last Supper. Jesus and his disciples gathered for the Last Supper. A follower, Eric Gronwall, played Simon Zelotes. When the disciples fell asleep, Jesus prayed and performed Gethsemane, where he spoke to God of his doubts and fears and begged not to suffer the painful death awaiting him. But when he does not get an answer, he surrenders to God and demands that he is taken immediately before I change my mind. Judas then arrived with Roman soldiers and gave him up with a kiss on the cheek. Death awaiting. Jesus prayed and spoke to God about his fears and doubts. Emotional moment. Legend showed incredible range while singing Gethsemane. Jesus hugged him back, and as his disciples tried to fight back, he urged them to let him be taken. As he was leading the way, a group of journalists with cameras, microphones and phones asked him what he planned to do, but he did not answer their questions. When he was taken in front of the priests, he was asked if was the Son of God, and Jesus replied that is what they called him. 3 times. Jason Tam as Peter denied knowing Jesus 3 times, sealed it. Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek while giving him up to Roman soldiers. Inquiring minds. Journalists peppered Jesus with questions, but he did not answer. Jesus was then sent by the high priests to Pilate while Peter denied to 3 different people that he knew Jesus. Mary told him that he had cut to him dead, but Peter told her he had done it to save his life, as she wondered how Jesus had known it would happen. Pilate asked Jesus if he was the Son of God, and when he replied, "That's what you say," sent him to King Herod, played by Alice Cooper. High priest Norm Lewis played the Jewish high priest Caiaphas, who organized the plot to kill Jesus. Provincial governor, English actor Ben Daniels played Pontius Pilate, who oversaw the trial of Jesus. The veteran rocker got a huge ovation as he took to the stage in an incredible orange three-piece suit. Herod, surrounded by dancing girls, told him he would free him if he performed miracles. When Jesus ignored him, Herod called him a fraud and sent him back to Pilate. Veteran rocker Alice Cooper played King Herod, who questioned Jesus after Pilate sent him over. Going back, King Herod sent Jesus back to Pilate after Jesus ignored his request to perform miracles. Mary and the apostles then recalled how they had first started following Jesus, and in the song "Could We Start Again Please" wished for a return to peace. Judas then regretted his actions and told the priests he was sorry for what he had done and did not want to be remembered as a traitor. He then realizes that he was chosen by God to be the one to betray Jesus and was used as a pawn for the foul and bloody crime. Feeling regret, Judas regretted his actions and suffered a breakdown. The witness, Mary Magdalene, was there for the Jesus. Judas suffered a breakdown because of his actions and commits suicide by hanging himself. Jesus was then dragged to trial in a blood-stained white vest. Pilate told the crowd that Jesus should not be crucified but whipped 39 times. Whipping punishment. Pilate tried to please the crowd by having Jesus whipped 39 times. Jesus was left with his shirt torn from him and bloody whip marks across his back. Pilate urged him to defend himself, but Jesus told him that everything was determined by God and there was nothing he could do to change it. The crowd screamed for crucifixion and Pilate agreed to stop the mob from becoming violent. Severe lashing. Jesus had whip marks across his back after the lashing. "Wash my hands of your demolition. Die if you want to, you innocent puppet," Pilate told him. Jesus was then carried out making a cross shape while the ghost of Judas, wearing sparkly trousers and tank top, performed a huge version of Superstar. Jesus was then lashed to a pipework cross and a blood-spattered legend, wearing a razor wire crown, was hoisted into the air. On it where he commended his spirit to God and slowly carried away. Pilate washed his hands of the execution and Jesus was carried away to die on the cross. Jesus was sentenced to death on the cross, crying out. The crucifixion included Jesus yelling out in pain, "Life gone." Jesus was depicted dying on the cross. The cast then took their bows, with legend taking the final plaudits in a bow with Cooper, Dixon and Bareilles. The whole cast then danced together on the stage as they celebrated their Easter performance. Jesus Christ Superstar Live was well received on social media as it set a new standard for musicals broadcast live and television. He's Back. Legend came out last as the cast returned for a curtain call legendary performance. The singer helped set a new standard for live TV musicals. The stars, Cooper, Legend, Dixon and Bareilles, took a bow together.